Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's Those Guys with your host Matt Marrero along with the other host.
Your friendly neighborhood average Detective Pikachu person stuck in Pokemon body, Tristan Walter.
Yes. Now, we are doing another episode of Friday Night Movies, and we are talking about the newest film to hit theater. Tristan, we never talk about new things. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe this isn't Those Guys.
I'm concerned about that, yes. We never talk about things this... Look, I'm not saying I'm unhappy about it. I'm just saying it doesn't happen.
Didn't we do that with Broly?
That's the... Dude, you've picked two. I love it. We have been doing shows, Tristan, for the last 4 years, and he's just like, well, wait a minute, Matt. I have a second one. Excellent. Bravissimo. You've done it. No, but
I am
I'm
a
talking
detective.
Yeah, you are the detective. I'm talking about with movies, not even like with like TV shows and stuff, because like we were good with Super. There were some issues at some points, but we were mostly good for Super. But when it comes to films, it's very hard to get you and I to go to the cinema together, to go to the theater. Very rough. So the fact that you and I were able to go see this within the month.
The fact that you and me can sit in the same theater and not try and kill each other is just phenomenal.
That is basically the power of Detective Pikachu. I mean, it was such a good movie.
It was, actually. I was very pleasantly surprised with it.
I came in with very high expectations, and my God, they were met. Usually does not happen with me. Longtime listeners know if I come in with high expectations, I'm fucked. I'm gonna hate it, or I'm gonna be mildly disappointed.
Right.
And neither one happened. Like this movie just worked well on so many levels. And yes, maybe to some people, because I know that there were some people laughing in our theater during parts that weren't funny. I understand, or at least were, odd, but weren't like traditionally hilarious. And I totally get that if someone thought like, oh, that's too weird, like how could you do that? But I just feel as if watching a Pokemon film, right? Watching a film where all of these Pokemon exist, all of this is normal, like... It's so weird in and of itself that when you have certain things like, this Ditto is, Dittos can become people, or like having the whole like, I'm going to transfer my mind to the mind of a Pokemon, stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. I'm not saying it makes sense, although to be fair, with the plot of the film, it quote unquote does make sense, the way they set it up. Like, it didn't come out of nowhere, to be fair.
Yeah.
But... Like, I'm not saying that none of it was...
The idea with Rhyme City is that people in Pokemon are living together, and it's been that way for many years. So
yes, and I bring this up. The reason why I say it didn't come out of nowhere is because even though Pikachu does make the joke about Twisty Twist, it isn't like, I think the one thing that I would argue is the actual twist. One you could call an arguable Shyamalanian twist is the fact that Ryan's dad was in the Pikachu, and that's the reason why he could hear him. Because that one I don't think was one you could say you saw coming.
There was a point where I figured it was his dad inside the Pikachu.
Okay, well, because let me explain what I mean by this. Looking at everything else in the film, like how did you know that Ditto was, his son in disguise? Well, earlier on they did show him with the Ditto, and that Ditto could turn into people. So that wasn't crazy. Like
that
Ditto
one
turned into
got me more.
Well, I know, I understand why it did, but what I mean is Ditto turned into a person to push I can't believe I forgot his name, in a wheelchair, the CEO / mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because a Ditto could do that, when we, like, the second I heard, I was like, oh no. And then we open the door and you see his son pop out, and I'm like, it was a Ditto. because it quote unquote makes sense, because every time you see the sun, it's just a shit-eating grin. With other than the one time in the news, when they were like doing the news and he was a piece of shit. Other than that, it was shit-eating grin, said nothing.
Right.
The woman,
the sunglasses too.
Exactly. Yes, the woman I should have thought was I should have thought sooner was a ditto because of the pink gloves. Like there were just certain things that I was like,
pink gloves.
Yeah, and she also didn't talk and everything. I was like, she looked like an enforcer of some type, but again, never did anything.
Yeah.
So, because Ditto, as a human, I mean, yes, he could punch, but it wasn't like an actual move. So, like, He wasn't being commanded to. So, like, I guess that made sense. But what I'm getting at is that with Ditto, they do little things throughout the movie to kind of show you maybe with. I don't know, just by saying that, this is what I want to have happen with Pokemon and humans, doesn't, to me, immediately mean, like, then that must be what happened with his dad. Like, I was still under the impression that, like, if you take a freaking heaping helping of that gas to the face, and then it even said, it makes you, like, Pokemon and humans makes them, it does certain things to Pokemon, but then they're susceptible to being, merged with humans. I was like, that means that he can probably hear Pokemon.
Right.
And because Pikachu was around, maybe that's why there was a link or something, instead of all the Apom.
Yeah.
And he took, like, a huge dose of that. Like, yes, the Apom did too, but, like, it exploded in his face. Like, if it was toxic, he would have been dead instantly.
Yeah, well, that was the funny part when the gas labeled R. When the gas comes out of the vial that he finds and it started swirling around him, I literally thought it was going to be a ghastly. And I'm like, God, he's going to die.
And it's purple.
He's going to be suffocated and dissolved.
Yes. No, yeah, it being purple gas also, well, it's funny, you said ghastly. I was thinking like a coughing in some way. Maybe maybe the
coughing.
Yeah. But either way, though, point is, because, like, you see the R, and, like, a friend of ours who we were watching the movie with, she mentioned that it might have been, like, a Team Rocket reference or something.
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Feels like it.
Yeah, just a little nod.
But they definitely did make reference to Team Rocket, at least indirectly, because they talked about the Mewtwo incident, and when he was created, they're like, the Kanto region. I believe they said 30 years ago, and everyone just kind of went, what?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me about that. Yes, completely 100% correct. Which is good, because I was worried they were just retreading from Pokemon the first movie, which I told you when we talked about this on Keikaku Corner, because we talked about some of the trailers, not all of them. But when we talked about them, I was a little nervous that they were just going to retread on Kanto stuff because Mewtwo's in there. And thank God we now know that Mewtwo was actually, the mayor in his body, because it just is something that, again, is so different that I'm so happy that even though it seemed like they showed us everything, within the context of the movie, it was vastly different. And that's what you need from trailers. Do you know what I mean? It's like you might feel like they're oversharing, but there's some key difference that's like, no, dude, it's not what you're thinking at all.
Right.
And I'm so happy that it changed it, or that it was changed that drastically. Because, like, you know how it is, man. There's certain movies that, yes, there are certain beats that you may have not picked up on, like a few other incidences throughout the film that you're like, I didn't know about that. But I don't know, man. There's certain films that we've seen that I've enjoyed, but seeing the trailer does kind of feel like we got most of the movie. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's certain trailers where we watched the film, and I'm like, look, I loved it, but, man, there was a lot in that trailer. And this, to me, was not one of them. Like, even though it felt like a lot, watching the movie, I'm like, damn, like, there is so much that was, so many action scenes that were given to us, but completely out of context, in such a good way.
Right, yeah.
Like there was, I thought I was telegraphing the movie when we were talking about the trailer, and I'm happy to have been wrong. And just should have been sent in a completely opposite direction. Now, when it comes to, but like I was saying though about about them leaving little hints and kind of building upon things. So like they did that with Ditto. They did that with I guess you could argue they did that with, the mayor, because he's talking about evolution throughout the movie, and then it just turns out to be, he's the evil bad guy all along. I mean, I just thought he was going to be the evil bad guy all along because he was, as an actor, he's too nice of a person.
Right.
He seems like a really decent human being, and I was like, nope, he's going to be the bad guy. For realsies.
Right. Because he was played by Bill Nye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's how you pronounce his name. I thought it was Nahi or something different. But yes, either way, though, very nice man, seemingly. Also a fan of Pokemon in real life.
Right.
So because of that, I was like, that's why he's going to be the villain. And then he turned out to be. But when it came to Ryan's dad being in Pikachu, I didn't expect that. And you and I cannot say that we would have expected, even if we try to claim, well, hey, man, that's we expected it. The fact that Ryan Reynolds showed up completely out of left field. Did not expect that.
Yeah, no, that I did not expect that either.
Yeah.
But
threw me off.
It does make sense.
No, it makes sense. That's the funny thing, too, like I mentioned earlier. I don't want to say that it didn't, quote-unquote, make sense, because I think anyone who says, oh, it didn't make sense, it's like, well, like you said, Tristan. Or actually, no, it was a friend of ours who said this to us. But if he could hear Pikachu, why couldn't he hear anyone else? Or when other people were hit with the gas during the parade, why couldn't they hear their Pokemon? So clearly, it had nothing to do with, had nothing to do with the gas.
Right. No, it was their connection specifically.
No, it wasn't their connection. It was because his dad was put into. But you're right, the connection of the dad and son. Yes. But still, because no one else could hear him, of course. So it was just something that I think I just really enjoyed the fact that the movie went somewhere different, though, and not just from what I thought, just different in general, because. If anyone was like, no, they should have played it safe, they should have done this or that, or maybe not gone in this direction, it's like, again, like I mentioned much earlier, like we're watching a Pokemon movie. They shouldn't be the same old. We shouldn't, like, sitting here, like, look, you can think it's weird and different, that's fine, but I don't know, like, watching this movie, I wouldn't have wanted them to, I don't know, find him in a ditch or like the dad, or like find him chained up in a lab next to Mewtwo or something. Right? Like, it's too predictable. Like some people who are predicting other parts of the movie, okay, like Bill Nye, bad guy, Bill Nye the bad guy. Like I get it, right? But to say, I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm sure someone other than you and I had to have said this and have been right. But just for someone to be like, it's so predictable that Pikachu's dad, that his dad was in Pikachu, and then Ryan Reynolds at the end of the movie. Anyone could have seen that coming. It's like, you think differently. Good for you.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's not an anyone can see that coming. That's very different, and very.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something that you don't usually see, I think, in U.S. movies that take themselves a bit too seriously. That's the thing too. It never. Like I think there were too many quips, in my opinion, but. Like there could have been a few less in certain scenes, but I'm still happy that the movie overall didn't take itself too seriously.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like it really felt like how they made it. It was like we know what our audience is going to be, and we know to keep it lighthearted, have some action sequences here and there, have things get a little crazy, but like enough to keep it not get into the realm of like action movie, like crazy.
When you say, because the thing is, so when you say action movie, what do you mean action movie crazy? Because it was an action movie in many ways. Like, are you referring to like what? No, because like I know you're. Gritty. Oh, gritty. Thank you. Yes, because that is a huge issue with anything. Is that like I'm talking about anything. Yes, there are some people who do want quote-unquote gritty versions of things. And I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that it just, unless it's done well, it just comes off as parody.
Right. Because,
so,
I mean,
like,
in my opinion, and this is just me, like, Pokemon's been gritty before. Granted, not, like, I don't know, I guess not.
Explain!
Like with Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness, in games, not in, like, you know, anime or stuff like, or
okay.
a series or
I don't
TV
think you
show.
know what gritty means. You're not using gritty.
All right,
no,
would you like to explain it to me then, Matt?
Why are there no prostitutes, huh? Why, like, that's when someone says gritty. Like, I want people dying of drug overdoses. Like, that's when someone's like, I want a gritty. Yeah, no, like, that's, it's more
gritty
mature.
For Pokemon, which is not over-the-top gritty still, but, like...
You can say it's more mature. I won't, like, disagree with you there. By the way, I don't know the game,
Matt,
so, like...
It's why I said in my opinion, too. Like,
no, that's fine.
You don't have to agree with that.
No, I've never played the game. So, like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that, like...
Yeah.
When people say, like, oh, you know who's fucking gritty? Even though we like him? Shadow the Hedgehog. That motherfucker. We love him, but man, that gun-wielding hedgehog, who, I can't even say, like, it's a problem that he's in love with humans, because, like, Sonic has also veered in that direction in some games. We're not going to talk about those. But, like, I didn't mean to, like, say that to you, but, like, I mean, like, when people think, like, because they think of The Dark Knight as gritty, except that worked.
Yeah.
Except that worked. Because, like, in some cases, it comes off as, like, complete, like, there was that joke video of, like, gritty Pokemon. I think you may have seen it, where it was, like, the gritty Pokemon reboot. Yeah. And it was a complete joke, but there are some people who are like, man, but if they did do that, that'd be okay. And it was like, Pikachu was starving and dying.
Right.
Like, you can't go that far. Like, I would argue this movie, this movie was noir, which was good. Like, they did, this movie did a lot right. Like, because, like you said, they kept it lighthearted in terms of, like, they knew, like, when they had to do some comedy to, like, chill everything out.
Right.
When it was getting a bit too real.
Yeah, they definitely had, and that was a good thing, too. They definitely had some real moments with, like, Tim and, like, his, you know, looking at his family history and being, like, to a lot of people, that's probably very relatable. But at the same time, you know, you get through that emotional conversation, and then Pikachu would make a quip, and it's like, okay, we're back, everybody. It's okay.
Yeah.
Everything's okay again.
Yeah, exactly. Because, again, like I was trying to say earlier, you don't want it to go too far. And when I say too far, I'm not saying, like, because, you know, some people will be like, oh, what, you don't want to think? And it's like, no, but it's not about, like, thinking too far, like, actually, like, contemplating too far. It's too far into a world that just seems like it's trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy. Also, I should note that while gritty is different from edgy, sometimes when someone says grittiness, it ends up bleeding into edginess, and then it just comes off as something that just seems like it's, I don't want to say fan wank, but, like, it just comes into like I mentioned earlier, like, well, why can't there be, like, why can't there be sex workers in this? And it's like, well, there's nothing gritty and edgy about sex workers, but, like, why do you think that you need that? Like, well, the fact that there were no bare breasts means that it's not an adult film, so I cannot take it seriously. It's like, what? And to some people who are adults, you're like, well, Matt, really? There are people that are like that? It's like, yeah, like, you can go on the internet, you'll just see people talking about, like, oh, Game of Thrones. Instead of talking about the plot progression, Game of Thrones is so edgy because there's a lot of sex scenes. And it's good, it's mature, it's adult. And it's just like, it's mature because of the way the plot direction goes and the way they juggle all that and somehow make it work with such a huge ensemble cast. They could do that without the breasts, and it would still be a mature show for adults.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, that's the thing. It's just this weird, like you said earlier, they knew their audience, and they know that their audience is not really interested in this shitty type of, like, oh, we have to make sure that this can appeal to everyone, but not like in a kid way appeal to everyone, like appeal to all of the older people who, in their minds, it's like, oh, well, they want a gritty remake. And it's like,
right.
no, like,
yeah.
no, they don't. Like, again, not everyone. Because if you thought, and some people out there might disagree with us, that's totally fine. But what I'm saying is, if the idea of having like a gritty reboot remake was the thing out of an older property or out of an adaptation, and that's all people want, nobody wants the flashiness, the fun, the heroes, then why the fuck did something like Endgame do well? Or why do Marvel movies do well in general? Now, not everything has to have the Marvel movie feel. That's bad. That's why I said I think less quips might have been good in this. But you still, just because, like, it doesn't, not, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Not everything has to be dark. Again, like Batman. Like, Batman worked because Batman has been dark for a while. Like, all Batman isn't, Adam West. Granted, love 60s Batman way too much. But not everything is Adam West, and of course the 80s solidified that, and it had continued onward from there. And of course, you could argue Tim Burton's movie was a bit more dark and drastic of a turn, especially, but that's another podcast. Either way, point is that still dark can work, grit can work, but it has to have a balance. So the noir of this film, having Pikachu say some things that weren't really family friendly but were still funny, and also just having the but at the same time kind of juxtaposing that with these wonderful Pokemon just living in Rhyme City, not fighting.
Right.
No fights.
Yeah,
yes, there were some
hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Well, yeah.
Yes, there were some
There's
scenes,
some
of course.
illegal activities, of course, but...
Well, I meant even Apoms just going nuts. Like, there was some stuff going on. Right?
I mean, that was
oh, my God!
Yeah.
He's being eaten alive! Help! Help!
Help!
Oh, my God!
Somebody help! Oh, God. But, yeah, I just wanted to say quick, like, for me, it feels like a good example for a parallel to this would be something like Toy Story. It's fun and it's happy at moments. Like, it's a bunch of toys running around doing toy things. Like, the kids love that. But it's also got a lot of jokes in it that, me watching as a kid flew right over my head, but my parents were laughing. So this, like, Detective Pikachu has enough jokes in it where the parents can stay awake and, the kids can enjoy it. But it's also... something that people in our age range who grew up with Pokemon would have a lot of fun with, too. So I think they really, hit the nail on the head with making a good movie for everybody, basically.
Yeah, no, if I was a kid right now and my dad was still alive, I would have hoped that he would have liked the movie and we would have been able to see it together. Because he saw the original Pokemon movie with me and he was like, that was boring, snooze fest. Because, well, I might have been the first or the second one. Either way, it is kind of funny because, like, if he was still around now, I'd be like, really, Dad? They talked about peace and love. What's wrong with you? But understandably, though, like, in his mind, he heard Pika Pika for fucking 5 hours. It was 2, but it was less. Yeah. But in his mind, he's like, I just kept on. I think he even said this once. He was like, I just heard Pika Pika for so long that he's like, I actually fell asleep.
Right.
Because for him, it's like it's the first movie. Like, as someone who watched the anime as a kid, I was super into it at the time. I was like maybe 6.
Right.
No, well, yeah, it wasn't 2000. 2000, I was 8, so I must have been 6. So for me,
it was like 99.
Oh, okay. Then I was like 6, 7. So for me, I'm losing my Pika Pika mind. For him, he's just a dad who wanted to whose kid was bugging him to go see the movie, so he went to see the movie. But I think in this one, again, like you said, there's so many jokes that could be, some that could be good for me, some that could be good just for him. I think the way the movie was structured, I think he might have thought it was odd. Like at the end, he's like, that doesn't make sense. He might have been one of those people.
I think he would have chuckled.
But he would have laughed at the fucking birth canal line.
That's definitely oh God, I wish they would have made a Burnhill joke. Like, it would have been perfect for that. Because there are just some of the lines, and that's probably the biggest one where, Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu just burns Tim. I was like, holy crap.
What got me interested was the fact that I was sitting there as a 26-year-old, and it's like, hey, come on, man, you're like 27. You got to, like, get stuff. You got to get your life in order. And I was sitting around, and I was like, they're a year off. And I was kind of just sitting around like, who do I tell to fuck off? Like, I don't know if it's like, if there's a team of writers, if the script was like doctored and like someone wrote that in. I'm just sitting there as a 26-year-old like, hey. You're like
right.
What, did you time the original fucking release and just age it by 20? I'm sitting there because I'm thinking, I'm like, I got into Pokemon a little bit late. So did they just sit there? They're like, Pokemon fan would probably be 27. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
No. Don't do that. Like, don't. But, and also, how funny is it? Just like a little tiny thing. They didn't really focus on too much, but it was just funny. The fact that Ryan has a normal job. A job that in our world would be respectable. Like, oh my God, look at you making so much money. Yeah, sure, you didn't leave town, which is a small town. Yes, it is encouraged that you leave small towns. Okay, that's to be fair.
Yeah, no,
but like
Tim.
What?
You mean Tim, the main character, the kid?
Yeah. What have I been saying?
Ryan.
Wait, so is that the name of the actor? No, it's not. Why have I been saying Ryan? Is the name of the character in Detective Pikachu named Ryan?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
That would be funny.
I think he was Tim as well. I think they were both Tim.
Fuck. Damn. I don't know why I said that.
Well, there's your one suck for the movie.
Yeah. That's super interesting.
That was another point when they open up and it's Tim's friend who's back in town visiting for a bit, because he's been off on his Pokemon adventure. He's like, Tim, I'm worried about you. Like, I feel like you're sad. It's like, are there any other emotional bombs you want to drop on me? Later. Like, my God, man. He's like, hey, you know what? No, I'm good, man. Like, I have a job. I'm making money. I'm fine. He's like, oh, what do you do? I'm working at an insurance company. I'm actually getting a promotion this month. And he's like, that's not I forget the exact, job title he said to him. He's like, dude, that's not even a thing. That's like imagine your friends coming to you. You haven't seen them for a bit, you're hanging out, and, you have a misstep here and there, but it's fine, it's good old days. And then they just shit on you for, your promotion at your job. Holy crap, man, you have no chill. Be happy for your friend, will you? Granted, I get it, Tim's technically not the happiest person, but, I wouldn't shit on my friend because he just got a new promotion at the job he's been working hard at.
But this is why because the reason why is if you flipped it around, it would be like the friend has the promotion coming up, and he shows up, and it's like, so what have you been doing? Oh, nothing really, just kind of traveling around, nothing steady. That's why it's so fucking hilarious. In their world, it's you're not a Pokemon trainer. Yeah. Oh, okay. Because to me, I just find it funny because you would kind of do that to your friend if they didn't have anything going. But that's the thing. To them, it's like, wow, you don't really have anything going on, do you? I mean, you're just here making a lot of money at a stable job. Poor Tim.
Right.
That's the thing. It's just the setup is just fucking hilarious to me. My God. Because I'm pretty sure he said it was insurance. Something insurance, not salesman, but something in insurance. And I'm like, this is great. Just the fact that he's just like, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
I guess it's okay.
There are people who are Pokemon trainers, and that's a thing. But there's still need for people to have normal human jobs. That's my human workplace.
But that's the funny thing. You just made it sound like in our world when it's like, hey, we all need fast food employees, which by the way I have no problem with. We do, and I think that everyone should be paid a livable wage. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that when someone says that, that's how it sounds. Not everyone can be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just so funny how traveling around with, could you fucking just imagine if I was just I'm gonna throw a fucking item at a dog, catch it, and be like, great, let's just fucking go around the U.S. and fight other dogs. No, Michael Vick got arrested for that shit. You would be sent to jail. That's
right.
I can't just fucking go to Puerto Rico, fucking throw a ball at a chicken and just be like, all right, let's fight other chickens. That's cockfighting. You get arrested for that shit. Those are illegal rings. And in their world, it's just like, well, do you want to have something steady? Then go be a Pokemon trainer and fucking go around and get some badges at some gyms. Maybe you can run your own gym, and I don't know how the fucking currency works there, but like still. No, but it's just so funny how that's considered stable.
Right. I mean, the funny thing for me is that, like everyone, I feel like there is a pro circuit for trainers, like, challenging the Pokemon League and stuff like that. And it's like, just statistically, not everyone's going to be the pro trainer that reaches the top. Like,
no.
Imagine going out and just, because when you win battles, the other person pays you, basically. It's like, what if you lose so many times in a row that you're flat broke and you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have money for food? Granted, I think Pokemon centers are technically free for Pokemon and their trainers, which gives you like
in the anime.
Yeah. That's how it was in the anime. Yeah. So I'm assuming that's how it would work here too.
Right. You could remember you could still call your mom or like talk to them via the PC or something, and probably they'll send you some money.
Could you please send me some money? I'm cold, hungry, and alone.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what I was going to say is,
I'm glad you didn't see that side of things yet.
No. But that's the beautiful thing too, by the way. So I'm sure some people, and look, I'm not, I don't know these people personally, but I'm sure that some people, especially some online, were saying, hey, why can't we follow a Pokemon trainer? The thing is that, like, we have an anime that has followed a Pokemon trainer for so long. And even the side stuff that tries to follow the story of, like, Red or the manga and all this stuff, that it's like, it's kind of like a Star Wars thing where, like, you and I have talked about this either on Keikaku Corner, or we talk about news articles, or like even in other reviews of different Star Wars movies where, we're looking at this new trilogy coming up in, 2022? So I guess that's the first one, right?
Yeah, right, something like that.
And I'm hoping that it is not a, another movie involving the Skywalkers or specifically with Jedi. At least Jedi in this current time period. Like, let's move to something else, right? Yeah. So in this case, it's like, even though I know, like, for some people, it's like, yeah, it's been Pokemon battles, but it's been with Ash Ketchum, so I'd like to see one that's not with Ash. And it's like, I hear you, but also maybe we just move away from that concept altogether for at least a live-action foray and see something different that still evokes the feeling of both Pokemon and also has good storytelling.
Right, yeah.
And I think if this movie was just not Ash, but even just an Ash clone, just going around having Pokemon battles, it would be nice. I'm not saying it's bad, but it would just be, it's kind of like saying, oh, let's do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Live-action movie. It's like, well, hold on a second. It's going to be very hard to do that in a movie, unless it's like a side story of actual, like, something that happened in the show or one of the adaptations of Yu-Gi-Oh! Do you know what I mean? So like, if you create a live-action version and you're just like, Yami, this is not an origin story. Yami and Yugi are still bonded together. Everyone's just hanging out, and then some shit goes down, but it's in live action. I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. But if you're trying to be like, no, this is just the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, how many card battles can you fucking fit into an hour and a half?
Right, yeah.
Like, in live action form, when trying to also set up all of these characters. Like, so that's the cool thing, is that they really did a good job of setting these characters up and having minimal, like, that's the good thing about having Rhyme City being the way it is. It's just a really good way to not have, everyone asking, why are there not enough Pokemon battles, not enough Pokemon fighting, yada, yada, yada.
Right,
you can just kind of breathe and see them just mingling in the atmosphere. And, like, me sitting around and going, oh my God, that's that Pokemon, and then you and a friend of ours doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because there were so many points where you just pan out and you see Rhyme City and just Pokemon all over the place just being Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's really breathtaking, like the shots that you get of the city. It's really cool.
Honestly, even though, like, Detective Pikachu is in the name, pretty much feels like an adaptation of Pokemon Snap, really.
A little bit, I guess. Yeah.
No, the joke is because you'd be on like you'd be sitting in like whatever it is. I'm not like a roller coaster. You'd be sitting in whatever, and then like you just turn around each way and just click. Yeah, and to snap.
Right.
That would be amazing in VR. Jesus Christ, I hope Nintendo.
I wonder if they. Yeah, right. Do Pokemon Snap in VR.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd have that as like an attraction for the city, where you could like go around on like a rail system and just
probably.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the other thing about the city, like you had mentioned earlier. But definitely those shots of like Pikachu and Tim and like the back alleys and like everything is in like neon. And there's, like, this misty, smoky atmosphere, and there's, like, puddles, like it had just rained. It looks like it's straight out of a detective movie, and they did it so well. Like, it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's like an 80s New York feel, but, again, nothing that makes it so, like, out there that you're just like...
New York.
Well, what I mean is, that's the thing, nothing that makes you think it's immediately New York, just, like New York, the way it looks now, or even then. But what I mean more so is, again, nothing that's just like, no, like, oh, you're looking for a good time, like something that makes you be like, oh, God, you got to put that in there just so that people are like, yeah, it's adult. You know what I mean? Like, it just, it was just, it existed. But you could tell, like, oh, you're in the seedier part of the city.
Yeah.
Which, No, you could just tell. Like, you were in a part of the city that was...
on saying, talking about the gas for a bit, unless you want to spend the night in the hose cow.
Oh, my God.
When they got out of his dad's apartment and running away from the APOM. Also, pants would probably do you 100% good.
Oh, my God. By the way, I love people that were just like, why can't you watch this movie without picturing Ryan Reynolds? And now that we know that it was literally Ryan Reynolds fused into a Pikachu, it's like going to be pretty hard now. But yeah, something else.
Funny. Like,
what?
Yeah, I couldn't watch it without picturing Ryan Reynolds, but that wasn't a bad thing for me. Like, all of his lines were in character and they fit. Like, nothing about it made me look at it and be like, oh, I'm not looking at a Pikachu right now. I'm just looking at Ryan Reynolds and this feels weird. Like, it didn't feel weird to me.
Well, that's another good thing too, is that, even though we didn't see another one in the movie, it's not like the Pikachu. Even though they had the voice actress do the Pika Pikas when it was needed. I forgot her name.
Right. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Of course they had her because, but just because they had her doesn't mean that it's like Ash's Pikachu. Like Ash's Pikachu wasn't just like, all right, like there's a reason why his name is Harry Goodman and not like Ash Goodman or some shit. Like, no, it's
right. Yeah.
It's this is there's plenty of Pikachus out there. Maybe they are more rare in that universe. Maybe that would make sense.
Possibly. Yeah.
But
it's funny because they actually have a cameo in the actual game for Detective Pikachu. There is a small cameo. And that's pretty funny.
Speaking of the game, it's vastly different from this.
I mean, other than the general premise of, Tim is looking for his father who has gone missing and Detective Pikachu teams up with him, I'm pretty sure it's pretty different, yeah. I haven't played the game myself, so I'm not 100% sure, but...
Oh, okay. So I didn't know if, like, a friend of ours played it and you're like, yeah, the Mewtwo thing was different or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because it's funny, there is actually a bit, like the opening, because I played the demo for it, and there is an opening bit with a bunch of APOM that go around causing mischief, and I was like, that's funny. And then the opening scene of them at, his dad's apartment, I was like, oh, that's funny. They're the APOM. Granted, they didn't go crazy and start attacking people, I don't think. I think they were just stealing stuff from them.
They were going to attack. They were going to murder Tim.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, in the movie here, no.
You meant in the game.
Pokemon insane. Yeah,
oh, you meant in the game. They were just like, oh, you silly APOMs.
I mean, a little bit more than that, but, they were, stealing stuff and not, specifically attacking people.
Also, I remember that...
the gas in this makes Pokemon go batshit. Which is why it kind of reminded me of Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness.
Oh, now I know... Oh, now I know what you're talking about. I briefly know, because I remember from XD Gale of Darkness, you're right. They do have a little bit of... Yes, thank you. Okay. So, yes, that I remember. That makes me think of it, yes. Because I think I played that for 5 minutes, perhaps, back in the day. What was I going to... Yeah, so we don't know if it's too much like the game, but it seems like it's not 100% there, I'd imagine. Because, well, first of all, even just looking at the setting, I've only seen just a few clips of the original game, just a little bit here and there, and it definitely looked like they were going for a more happy kind of chill vibe. Not happy, but, like, it's not this.
Like, I think they're still in the city, but it's not as, it's not as like noir as it is here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it seems like a more traditional city. I don't know about U.S. city, but a more traditional city.
It feels like a more traditional, like, Pokemon game city.
Oh, okay. There's a Charizard in that game, isn't there?
I think so.
Like, I thought there was, in one of the trailers, so it's not like a spoiler, and in one of the trailers there was, like, a Charizard going crazy.
Possibly.
Which is funny, because then it, reminds us of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, there are some little parallels and references, but, like, I think they are different stories, yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I want to mention...
I suppose maybe the end result is kind of still the same because, father and kid get back together, yeah.
You'd imagine?
I'd imagine, yeah.
Could you imagine? The fucking movie, they were like, yeah, we wanted to make it a bit more upbeat than in the game. What happened in the game? Oh, the father was viciously eaten by Houndoom. Dear God! Yeah.
Bullshit.
It was what?
Yeah.
There's something else I wanted to say. Oh, so moving aside from the game for a second, I feel like I was very happy to, in a way, I wasn't happy to see Ryan Reynolds because I was kind of hoping that it was just, like we could divorce the two and it would just, like, I didn't know if we were ever going to see his dad. I thought we were, but I didn't know who was going to be. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen there, to be fair, because, this is a family movie, so I understand you don't want to show his dad as a corpse. But they were kind of leading in a direction where I thought, like, maybe they don't find the body, but it's okay because he made a new friend, Pikachu.
Right. That's what I thought for a bit too.
Yeah. But I have to say though, it was very touching, of course, not only seeing them hugging when Tim's like, you know what? Like, yeah, let me spend some time with you, Dad.
Yeah, because he still has I think what was it, a basketball game or a baseball game, something like that he had a ticket for him for his birthday or something. And he's like, you know what? Why don't we go get a coffee?
Yeah. Well, because he had his train ticket that he threw away.
Oh, was it the train ticket? I thought it was
if he did, then he threw it away, so that's not good.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Right, no, that was the funny part, me and you just both looking at each other like, why did you throw the ticket away? I mean, shit, you could have just given it to someone. Someone else could have enjoyed the game. Damn.
No. It's because he bought him a ticket to go home on the train. Because he would have went home to his house in wherever.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but I could have sworn that was the ticket that he had in, like, the birthday card that Tim found at the beginning of the movie at his apartment.
Oh.
And it was, like, a game. I don't remember what game, but, like, it was a game ticket.
Either way, he went to get coffee with him, which, again, was nice because I thought he was...
Which is nice.
Like, it was nice. Two things that were nice. One, he didn't kiss the reporter that he met.
Right. Lucy, I believe.
Yeah, Lucy.
Name.
Thank you. It was Lucy. Even though for once I thought it would have made a little bit more sense, I don't know why. I think because there was a little bit of flirty energy there. I thought there was.
Yeah,
it's funny though because our friend
felt completely out of place.
It's so funny though because our friend was just like, that wouldn't have made sense at all, and like we were looking at each other like, this isn't one of those times actually. Because usually it's so stupid. Like hell,
right.
even like something like when you and I we did a review of the original, not original King of the Monsters, but original Merc and Godzilla, the one in the 90s.
Yeah.
And even though those two had a past throughout the entire movie, no, because that was somewhat recent. Throughout the entire movie, I'm like, these two have nothing in common. Why are they? This should not happen again. We need to stop this. How can we stop this? This needs to stop. So it just didn't make sense. Is what I'm getting at. In this case, I don't know. It didn't feel like it was just him. It felt like there was a little fun, flirty energy.
Right.
I'm not saying he should have went for it.
Okay, yeah, like saying like, oh, maybe I'll see you around sometime, and saying like, yeah, maybe, like that would have been fine. That would have been fine.
Yeah, I think it would have been.
Like you said, they wouldn't necessarily need to have a kiss scene just to say, hey, maybe I'll see you around. Yeah, all right, sure.
Also, something that I'm curious about: does Ryan Reynolds, or at least Harry Goodman, does he not remember being the Pikachu?
I don't. No.
Because he had amnesia, so obviously he didn't know anything about anything. In his head, he's like, wait a minute. I just talk to Pokemon normally. Somehow you can hear me. All right.
Right, yeah.
Because he had amnesia, which, by the way, that was something that I also didn't pick up on. Maybe it's my fault. In the trailer, he mentions he has amnesia, but I thought in the movie it took a bit longer to make it seem like, no, I have amnesia. Like, we knew that he was, A, Harry's Pikachu, B, he should not have been understood by Tim, and C, they're looking for Harry. That seemed obvious throughout the first, 10 minutes of their meeting. But it seemed like it took a while. Like, they had to leave the apartment, and I think they were, like, around the fighting ring before, like, he mentions his amnesia. And I'm like, did they even mention this in the film itself?
Well,
until that point?
Yeah. Because in that point, he's fighting Charizard in the illegal battle ring, and he's like, I don't remember any of my moves.
Right. But then he also mentioned, he's like, I don't remember fighting this guy, which I guess implied he had amnesia. But, like, I don't know. Like, for some reason, maybe he said it and I didn't pick up on it. That's or they said it and, we're doing this podcast a few days after. Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure our mutual friend with us, she had said that he stated it at some point previous.
Like at the apartment, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, because it was clear from the trailer, which I'm like, oh, okay, yes, he has amnesia, which I knew that going in. That's why I'm confused. I'm like, did I know that going in? So then I'm putting that on the movie? Yeah. Or either way, though, yeah, having amnesia means that obviously he doesn't. It's not the move amnesia. He doesn't remember anything other than I am a Pikachu. Shit went down. I was Harry's Pikachu, and here I am with you. Which Mew, I assume the reason why Mewtwo did that was because, like, I'm going to protect Harry because if I don't do this, they're going to murder Harry.
Right. Make it seem like he's still dead to as many people as possible. And then it's a Pikachu no one would suspect. Right.
Exactly. Because honestly, like, I thought once they found out that it was a Pikachu, that Harry's Pikachu was alive, I thought they were going to kill Pikachu. And it kind of turned out to be like, well, wait, why? Why would we? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
He's
and I was like,
Pokemon. He's no threat to us.
Right, exactly. Like, that made sense. But I thought they were going to think he was a threat to them. Although, to be fair, what the fuck would he say? Literally.
Pika! Oh, you're adorable. Oh, he's so adorable. Yeah, so are you. They can't understand me, kid. That's
literally talking about a double homicide.
The whole fucking movie.
Literally talking about a double homicide. They're smiling. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting though, because like I understand, again, like they went with something that I disagree with, like, oh, it was Ryan Reynolds in there, or it was, Harry Goodman in there, but I really wish that would have been I kind of want to know what a Pokemon's personality is, and I think it would have been nice if that would have just been like a Pokemon's personality, like, hey, like, Granted, the coffee thing was something I should have picked up on. Like, Pokemon should not be drinking coffee. But it's nice to know, like, oh, like, that's just you know what I mean? Like, every Pokemon is different. And just like you have Ludicolo's serving drinks, you know, like, oh, thanks, dear. Thanks, doll. You know, and you have the Jigglypuff, angry but also happy to be singing and then putting people to sleep. Like, you have Pokemon that have different personalities. Like, you know, it's even in the games. Right. Oh, bashful, you know, shy. It would have been nice if, like, this was just this Pikachu's personality to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's literally, like, if, you know, like, when you are a Pikachu or you're a Pokemon that hangs around a detective for so long, yeah, you know, you're a little rough around the edges. You're a little weird, a little different. I feel like you
probably still have a brave personality as a Pokemon.
That's fair. No, because when we see the Pikachu, it seems like an average, normal Pikachu. You know?
Right, yeah.
Although, my God, when they said...
fair, yeah.
And they had, hey, kid, and I was looking, I was like, they didn't animate Pikachu's mouth to say, oh, my God, it's Ryan Reynolds! The crowd, the fucking theater was electric.
Oh, yeah.
The entire,
I was too. I didn't see, like, I had the idea that, the dad is going to be in Pikachu. It's like, you were with your father the entire time. I kind of started to get that vibe towards the end. But I did not expect Ryan Reynolds to pop out.
They should have been. You know what they should have done? They should have like given a I don't know if a thumbs up, but like a handshake. Should have given like a throwback. I can't think of the word. Just they should have given props to James Earl Jones. The fact that he wasn't fucking Vader, and they should have brought him in. It should have been like, Ryan Reynolds voices the Pikachu, but you know who is his dad? James Earl Jones.
Oh, God.
I would have lost my shit.
Right.
I would have been like, excellent. Because, again, just because he got fucked over. Like, I'm still mad. I'm like, why does he do the voice, but then Luke's father has to just be that suit actor? Why? By the way, great actor, I'm sure. I believe he was actually very famous. But, like, still, it's like it's not James Earl Jones, the dude who was doing the voice. What the hell?
Right.
It's just an odd disconnect. So it's actually kind of funny that it ended up being Ryan Reynolds. I was actually very happy. Speaking of, we mentioned earlier the report at Lucy. I'm happy that she actually was able to do her thing. You know, and actually, report on this, and it actually worked in her favor. Because I was getting a little bit worried. I was like, I feel like, granted, was a little frustrated that they kind of just threw her away towards the third act. Like, she was because she seemed like she was a big part of the movie, and then all of a sudden, it's like, no, she just gets caught up with everyone else, and then she becomes a Psyduck, and it's like, I know, like, you don't know.
Battle, basically.
Like, it would have been cute.
Nice. Yeah.
It would have been cute to at least at the very, because would have been very interesting. I know, like, you don't want to sacrifice Pikachu's moment because, of course, Pikachu has to remember Volt Tackle, so you don't want to sacrifice that. Right. But I think it would have been interesting if some of, at least Lucy's character or some of the people would have been able to do something. Not like use crazy moves like a hydro pump, because it's like, all right, that takes a little bit of work. But, like, squirt a little water. If you're a water Pokemon, maybe throw a little flame out if you're a flamey Pokemon. Like, I know everyone's confused and stuff, but it I don't know, it felt like there was a component missing, and I think it might have been the community aspect of, like, we're a town, we're not going to take your shit.
That's fair, yeah.
But at least from Lucy.
I just feel like in that moment, everyone is just so, like, what the fuck just happened? Why am I a Pokemon? Like, nobody knows what the hell is going on, that they can't focus enough to think of anything else.
Yeah, technically the movie didn't go on, like, that part didn't go on for, like, an hour. Like, it really was a short, like, they were cutting between every little bit. It's just to us watching, it seems like it's a long time.
Right.
But really it was probably, like, at most 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, fucking Psyduck.
Yeah.
Just fucking Psyduck.
Yeah, that was... basically my other favorite bit was just, Detective Pikachu looking over. It's like, you guys do realize that we're driving around with a bomb in your back seat, right? Excuse me if I'm a little uncomfortable. This guy gets stressed out and boom, psychic implosion.
Yeah, no, like I love Psyduck, but Psyduck is basically Professor X at the end of his life, essentially. Like the dude can fucking just the dude can just fucking explode at any point and isn't able to control. Like, it's nuts. Like you can't.
I know. I didn't like rubbing your feet.
Oh my god. Yes, I do care about my partner. All right, fine. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the fact that Psyduck is like, don't you care about your partner's life? Yes, I do. Fine.
No, I'm very happy that. But then it's really funny too, where it's just like, no, you can't overreact. Wait a minute. Yes, you blow up and just start shitting on him.
Right.
Like you said, like I didn't like rubbing your feet, and then he's like, sigh.
Oh
my god.
But yeah, speaking of like Psyduck and Lucy, our friend was also mentioning this. She was mentioning to me as we were heading back afterwards, like she enjoyed her character and how she was her own character, but is also kind of she feels like a small nod to Misty in a way. Like I feel like the hairstyle, her personality mostly, like she's very like go get 'em. She's like can do this attitude. She has a Psyduck.
Yes.
But again,
right. The Psyduck is actually. I forgot about Misty having a Psyduck. You're right. Yes, that's obviously the clear fucking one. No, because I was going to say she's also
like, their personalities are similar too, but like
yeah,
they are their own characters, which is nice. I'm glad she wasn't just like a carbon copy kind of deal.
No, I was going to say she was also a nod to the fact that I didn't know this until fairly recently. In the original game, the original Pokemon game, they were actually going to do you could be a boy or a girl, just like they did in the version of Crystal.
In second gen.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did it in all three, I think. Although I thought they only did it in Crystal.
You're right. It's only in Crystal. Yeah, that's the first time it appeared.
Yeah, they were going to do it in the first gen too, I believe. And they actually had like some mock-ups, like some artwork done. Yeah.
Right.
Which is why she appears. Doesn't she appear in the manga? Don't they have two characters in the manga? Don't they have one with a Bulbasaur? She has a Bulbasaur? I don't know her name. Maybe it's Green?
I'm not sure about that. There is a character called Blue, and she has the Squirtle.
Oh, maybe then I'm thinking of Blue then.
At least in Pokemon Adventures, the manga that I'm familiar with, there's Red and Green, and Red has a Bulbasaur, Green has a Charmander, and then
they're both
Blue
guys?
Takes Squirtle. Yeah, they're both guys.
Then I'm thinking of Blue.
Designs, they are Ash and Gary.
Yes, then I'm thinking of Blue then. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, I'm wondering if that's also a nod there as well, because it's something that's actually very interesting because, you have people nowadays, not necessarily about this movie, thankfully. I think maybe there are some, but you have people nowadays that are just like, you have to have a woman in there and yada yada, and it's like, bro, like Pokemon Crystal, you could choose to be a girl. Like, come on. Like, so it's kind of nice that you have, it's not just like, it's just about the dude doing his thing and it's like, no, like I mean, it's not, you don't want to, I don't know if it's right to call this an ensemble cast necessarily, because it's just about, it's really about just at most the two of them, but still I think it was nice. I think
a very important part too, because like after Pikachu and Tim decide, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to go find my dad. Tim even says, like, I'm just walking in the direction, man. You got to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Where are we going? What are we doing? I don't know.
Also,
so
20-year-old.
We need a lead, and then he's like, oh, right. I know someone who would have that information. Let's go see her.
Yes. 20-year-olds, by the way, I would like to mention, play teenagers far too often.
Yeah.
Because
they were
both.
I don't know about Lucy, but I know Tim was 15. That was established.
He was what?
I'm pretty sure he was 15.
What? I thought Tim was in his 20s. because he was
working a job. Yeah.
No, he was. Yeah, he was. No, he was in. I don't know. No, Tim in the game is probably 15. Because look at him.
They said here too. Maybe not. Well, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. All right.
No, that's why I said that he was 27.
Having a 15-year-old working at a insurance company.
No, dude, that's why I mentioned him being 27 because they said that out loud. Like, dude, you're 27 at a dead-end job.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the flashback, like when he was actually thinking about being a trainer. That's probably why.
Yes, he was. You're right. He was 15. But what I'm trying to get at though is that they still play teenagers so often that like even looking at the actor Justice Smith and then looking at Lucy's actress, which I want to see her name. Is it Catherine Newton? Yeah, she's 22. So then it's probably I was trying to say is the both of them look as if they could pass off as teenage versions of themselves. And I realized, I'm like, my God, way too many adults are playing teenagers. They have to, legally, but usually for the most part. But, like, because it's just so funny, though, because just usually you don't have teenagers playing themselves or kids playing themselves. So, like, I see the two of them, and I'm like, my God, like, I sometimes forget. I'm like, no, he is 27, and they never said her age, but remember, she was working in a newsroom. She wouldn't be a teenager.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, God, I've seen her in Paranormal Activity 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, but at that time it was 2012, so she was the teenager.
Right.
And then she's known for playing an older version of Claire Novak in the CW series Supernatural. All right. I don't know anything about that. But either way, I haven't seen Supernatural in years.
Yeah.
But, wow, okay. So that's interesting. Huh. I'm seeing if there's anything else that I'm like, oh, my God, she was in, but I don't know. Let's see. Justice Smith, who he was Tim. I know he's been in something else that you and I know. I just don't remember what it is as of yet. Oh, yeah. Right. He was in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. He was the nerdy dude.
Right,
Comic Relief.
Yeah, he was the other guy, that was with them on the island.
Yes, of course. I knew he was in something because when we saw him in that, I was like, oh, he's going to be in Detective Pikachu.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Franklin Webb was the name.
Right.
But yeah, no, and obviously he's proven that, like, I've heard this movie is doing well. Not Endgame well, but it's still doing well especially well for going up against Endgame.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, I'm only saying it's not doing Endgame well because, like, there are some people who are saying, like, it's a flop because it's not doing as well as Endgame. And I'm like, bro, Endgame is, like, what? Like, Endgame is breaking records in and of itself. Yes, exactly. Right. Like, if there was a Detective Pikachu 3 where it got every single character from, like, the anime and other shit, and that didn't do $1 billion, I'd be like, all right, maybe that movie flopped. But like,
and it's Doctor Strange pulling them out of vortexes. Everyone's here.
Oh my God. Then I'd say that the movie may have flopped. But at this point, it's it's what?
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I'm just saying that like it. The movie did not do poorly. As of right now, its budget was $150 million. Its box office $287.4 million. So while it made more than its budget, we still have to account for promotion and shit like that. So I don't want to say it's broken even yet. But apparently, again, looking at everything it's been up against, where it's been up against Endgame, John Wick Chapter 3, which sounds silly when you compare the two, but there's a huge John Wick following, and I gotta fucking see those movies. I saw like one clip of I think the first or second one, and I just every time I hear the name John Wick, I'm like, I gotta fucking see that, but then I just don't. Too much to do. But like I really want to. Like I might push you to podcast on one. I really want to see John Wick. Just you, me, Wings, John Wick. Like it looks like it's a lot of like. Well, I'm not gonna mention the plot now, but like something happens in the movie, and he needs to avenge that person in his life, and he goes off the rails, and it's but like in a good way, like not good for him, but good for the movie.
You,
good
me,
for action.
Wicks, and John Wings. Wait a minute.
Hold on 1 second. John Wing sounds like a trainer at Falconer's gym.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but this movie so far, again, going up against Endgame, Wick. There was another movie that came out that was huge. I'm thinking. Oh well, actually, it's coming up against Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Right.
Soon.
Which my body is ready.
Yes, and Men in Black. Apparently, the new one's coming out in June. Like, there's a lot being sandwiched in. So, like, Godspeed, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I was saying, speaking of God, no. Speaking of our corporate overlords, not ours personally, just generally. So Warner Brothers is they made this. Legendary Pictures is behind this. So what I'm wondering is, the actor, I believe his name is Ken Watanabe. Let me see if I get that right. Yes. Do you think it was hard for him to briskly walk from one CGI set to another to film both of these movies? No, he had to have filmed them in tandem.
Right, yeah.
They're both coming out within a month of each other.
Right. I feel like, I mean, at least with Detective Pikachu, like, yeah, he worked with, Tim's dad at the police precinct. So, like, he didn't have the biggest role, so I feel like they could have him in for a day or so, or maybe not a day, but, like, they could have him in for a week, and they could get what they needed, and then, the rest of the
he had
time
to be part of two different...
with Godzilla.
Yes. Well, he had to be in two... You know what's interesting?
Juggling separate roles? Yeah, no, shit, that's crazy.
So I'm confused, and I'm not even being a dick here. I'm actually being serious. I kind of want to see if there's like a behind the scenes or something. How much of that movie is even fucking real?
Yeah, I kind of want to know that now too.
Because I'm assuming that Tim, was in an actual apartment and Pikachu wasn't real. But for all I know, Justice Smith was in his boxers, and the whole fucking thing was fake. Like, I don't even, like, the clothes weren't even real. I don't fucking know anymore. The Pokemon looked amazing.
Could you imagine just, like, Ryan Reynolds is in the scene, too, but he's just laying on the floor and just moving his head around, like, looking up at Tim and, like, talking to him.
But that's the thing, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is crazy to think about how much. Like, look, I understand some people are going to say no, but X looks fake or Y looks fake, and depending on what it is, I probably agree with you. Like, some of it did take me out, like when they were running on the Tortimers. Is that what they're called?
Oh, the Torteras.
Torteras. Thank you. When they were running on the Torteras, there were certain parts of it where I'm like, okay, that's clearly like CG, like that's fake. It took me out of it. Not like I didn't like it, but
the mountain is moving around them.
No, that part looks beautiful. I meant like when they were running and you saw like their faces and their heads, like close.
Yeah, right.
You could tell, right? But when the actual Earth was moving, again, I'm assuming they're in a factory somewhere, just going whoa, but I have no fucking idea.
Right.
No, because it doesn't look like they were placed in there. Like, it looked like they made a set for them to shake, but it looked like it was more of like a tokusatsu thing, where like they actually made like a fake mound of land to just rip apart.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm legit wondering, like, because when Watanabe was, like, in the crowd with them, I'm like, were they in a fake city filming? Like, were they in a city filming? Were they in a fake-made city filming? Like, that one little shot of him in the bleachers? Or were they, were they in Times Square? Were they in some city, in Canada? Or were they fucking in a factory somewhere and that was computer-generated? I don't know anymore, Tristan. I'm getting a little nervous.
Hopefully the special edition Blu-ray will have the answers.
Let's see. It says that they filmed it. Where did they film this? I'm just finding it now, Tristan.
Right. Okay.
so
or
interested.
you could look it up now and have the answer now.
Oh, London,
Right.
England, and Denver, Colorado.
Huh, okay.
Alrighty then. I'm wondering where in England, and maybe because
Where in Denver?
Well, you know what no, Denver.
I know what they probably get for Denver. Yeah.
The mountains, all of the mountains.
Yeah, right, exactly. When they're out in the research center.
Yes. However, London. That's probably why the city looks kind of muggy. They probably had good weather. "Quote unquote" good weather for noir. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. Also, maybe it was cheaper than filming in New York, I would imagine.
I don't know about that.
I mean, because remember, if we were in New York, it's easier for us to film in New York.
Too.
What? It is,
I know,
but it's very hard to get a filming permit in New York. Very hard.
Yeah.
Also, you can't film in a Times Square almost ever. Pretty much.
Right.
Like if you're a huge, like studio. Like you and I can do some shit, but then cops will chase us.
Right.
By the way, again, like I mentioned this earlier, the Pokemon really did look amazing, though. Like very few.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was maybe only once with the Pokemon was I like, you're not really there. But it was very, I don't know, something about it just, they worked so hard and tirelessly, like, bless them.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously it's a lot of work, but, like, my God, the amount of time and effort it took to just blend it all correctly. And also, even though there's some debate on what Pokemon look like monstrosities and which ones do and which ones don't, the fact that, like, you could say, oh, I don't like how Mr. Mime looks. But it's like, guess what? Mr. Mime isn't chilling with Tim the entire time, you know?
Right. Oh, God, right. So I gotta ask you now. So do you think Mr. Mime is dead?
Oh, no. In his mind, he is. Maybe, like, remember when Kaiba got mind crushed?
Oh God,
Kaiba came back. Kaiba came back.
I know, but still.
No, I think because Mr. Mime thinks it.
And then Tim set it on fire to get the information out of him, and then accidentally dropped the match.
But again, none of it was real. None of it was real.
I know, none of it was real, but like Mr. Mime, just the horrified look on his face, I was like, oh shit. Like even Tim was just like, uh-oh.
He's not even going anywhere. Don't tell him that. Oh, no, it was a horrible crash. Should have worn a helmet.
Yeah, that whole scene was fucking beautiful. My dad's informant. Where's a Pokemon? It's Mr. Mime. Get him. He jumps on him. Oh, now he's jumping on a motorcycle. Oh, he's speeding away. Oh, he's going down hard, kid. Oof.
You know what's something that really made me, like, not sad, but, like, it actually, like, hit me? Like, oh, my God, he wasn't kidding. When he talked about, when he was saying to Mr. Mime, he's like, oh, I push people away that I love the most. And I was kind of sitting there, and I was just like, haha, like funny existential stuff that people, say in comedies. Right. But then when that actually happened, when he ran away, I was like, oh, my God, he's pushing people away that he loves the most. And
then you realize that that's his whole, it feels like that's almost his whole relationship with his son, too, because he buried himself in his work after his wife died, and he moved.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, God. Oh, God. And that's, that's what we mean when we say there were some serious moments in this movie, and they did them very well.
But that's what I mentioned earlier. Like, there's a difference between like serious moment and like, well, why was it not gritty? Like, one of none of the Pokemon were mating. Was like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, like, hey man, that's what would happen in a zoo. Like, what can it? I don't know. It's just like there's certain things that people would say, like and some people are memeing and joking, but like others are like, no, legit. Like, why are we not? Like, why were no Pokemon knifed during this? Why was nobody knifed? Like, you're telling me that telling me in the underground, you're telling me one person didn't have a knife, and to that, I actually agree. One person probably was packing heat, but
I mean, when you've got Pokemon, though, do you really need one?
That's what's funny, too.
Like,
if there were Pokemon,
when you have a 6-foot-tall fire-breathing lizard, do you really need a knife?
No, but I mean, I don't know. For me, in my head, I'm just like, might need a bigger knife, actually. Like, might need a bigger one.
Yeah, and that fucking blew my mind when, like, Pikachu is like, I can't remember any of my moves. God help me, get me out of here. And then Tim just jumps in and steps on Charizard's tail because that's its weak point. I'm like, my God, Tim, you're savage.
Well, I mean, he's not going to kill him, but he's like...
to help him. No,
yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
He's just trying to help him, and then the other guy is like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Get out of my ring.
Well, also because he didn't even give his Charizard, like, a little bit. Like, he basically, like, he coked him up.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, No, fuck that
Like,
guy.
it's not,
yeah, he
could have been like, here's a little bump, and he was like, no. He just, like, blew it in his face.
Yeah. You do not love your Pokemon. Go fuck yourself.
Well, it's interesting. It doesn't seem to hurt them.
Yes, but it's still...
It's wrong.
Yeah, but you're right. It doesn't. In the long run, it doesn't seem like it hurts them. Like, it wears off eventually, and they're fine. But, like... Which makes sense, because the whole point of the gas is then to transfer, a human's mind into the Pokemon's body. So, like, you wouldn't want any lasting damage, because that becomes your body. The guy developing it wanted to take Mewtwo's body for his own. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh, man, I still love that you can just say that out loud, and it's real.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, that was crazy. that was crazy. And, like, I liked it. It was, like, crazy in the sense it's like, yes, we can all be... Because it sounded so nice at the beginning. It's like, we can all become better and, like, evolve into better versions of ourselves, just like Pokemon. Oh, that was actually really well thought out. Yes, and I mean in a physical sense as well when we have their bodies. Oh,
what?
No. Oh, God, no!
Hold on a second. I think there's a little bit of crazy in my ear. Could you repeat that one?
Could you repeat that? Why am I a Psyduck?
Oh, my God. Can you repeat that? Sign?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and that was his other line. And I feel like every one of us that played Pokemon as a kid, when he's just like, oh, Pikachu cannot defeat Mewtwo in battle, it's like, oh, I'm about to end this whole man's career.
Oh, God, the moment, speaking of ending something, what completely killed. I think, what's funny, I think that might have ended Tim's attraction to Lucy. Having a Ditto with its eyes, its beady eyes.
Oh, my God.
Be Lucy.
Right.
The whole theater was just like,
all right, look, I am not afraid to hit the woman that I'm attracted to with beady eyes like that. And then she just jacks him and he flies across the room.
Oh, my God. He was like, not fair.
Ditto transformed into the Machamp, though, and, like, goes to punch him. I'm like, oh, God, Tim's about to die. Oh, my God.
There was one moment where I was like, is Tim making it out of this alive? And then,
yeah.
But then what was funny though is, so I thought that, but I was like, nah, but he'll be fine. You were fucking thinking Pikachu was gonna go pancake on the fucking in the middle of Rhyme City.
Yeah, well, when they were falling, I didn't, because they both fell because Tim took the mind control off the bad guy, so then Mewtwo fell as well, and Pikachu was falling. I'm like, there is literally no one to catch them right now. Who's going to catch them? And then Mewtwo, of course, snaps out of it and catches Pikachu in the bowl.
I thought he was going to bounce off a float. I thought maybe Lucy Psyduck was going to use some psychic technique on him.
Maybe, yeah. Like, I knew somebody would catch him, but just in the moment, I'm like, oh, God.
They just have, but I'm just sitting there. I'm like, did you think Pikachu was going to be lying there?
I mean, like, no, I didn't think they were going to go splat on the pavement, but, like, I mean, it's funny because you were almost the same reaction to Ditto when he fainted, when he melted, because you were
that's different. but that's different. Any Pokemon that melts in front of you, it also looks horrifying.
But yeah, no, when Ditto faints, it kind of melts into a puddle. Like, that's what it does.
That looks horrifying.
I think Ditto's dead, guys. And me and the mutual friend are just looking at you like, no, it's okay. He does that.
No, because the thing is, we have to understand, I haven't seen the Pokemon anime other than like one or two like episodes or clips in random points. I haven't seen Pokemon anime since Advanced Generations, I think.
Right.
So I haven't seen a Ditto for a very long time, and I haven't played newer Pokemon games since X, and I don't have a Ditto or I haven't seen a Ditto. So for me, I'm thinking of a Ditto from Pokemon Yellow, and any Pokemon in Pokemon Yellow just kind of falls. The sprite just falls. Yeah. Oh no, it fainted. Right. So I can't think of a Ditto animation, maybe in like Pokemon Stadium, but I never wanted to use a Ditto because I thought Ditto, like as a kid I was like, Ditto sounds so cool. But then in practice I'm like, I don't know if I want a Ditto with only 5 movies. Right. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure there are people who are masters with Ditto, but personally I was like, I'm good.
Right.
So I've never seen a Ditto faint, or at least if I have, it's been a very long time. So to have that Ditto just melt into itself after, what did Tim do to it that to me made it seem like it was a finishing move?
I think he like shocked it with a cable or something that was in the machine.
That's bad.
Something like that.
That overloaded it, and that does not seem like something you could do to a Pokemon with man-made, electricity. Granted, to be fair, like a Ditto could take thunder, so like obviously, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know. It's just, you know what? Okay, think of it like this, right? Like, oh no, a Machamp took Slam. Oh no, a Machamp took Flamethrower. I fucking shot that thing. Just took out my gun, and I shot it. It wouldn't be like, oh no, Machamp fainted. It'd be like, get him to a center, he's bleeding out. Jesus.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, in my head, I was like, oh God, that's a lot of electricity. And it melted. Yeah. Like, that's horrifying.
Well, that was like the other point when they were running away from the Torterras and everything, and Detective Pikachu gets hit by the rock. And like, you and our friend were like, oh no. And I'm like, guys, it's fine. He just fainted. He'll be fine. And you two look at me like, dude, look again. And it's like, oh God, there's shrapnel in his body. He's bleeding.
Yes, exactly. You were just like, he just fainted.
Like, oh no. No.
Also, he fainted and then kind of fell after that too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right.
So
no.
Fell
in the water, so that didn't help either.
No.
I'm only slightly drowning. Don't worry about it, kid.
I was so confused. I had no idea. Because when they were like, oh, we're going to take you to a healing Pokemon, I kind of sat there and I was like, are they going to see, like, Shaman or something? Or?
Yeah, well, I was trying to think of, like, what move they would use. I'm like, I know there's certain ones that use Recover, but that's on themselves. I was trying to think
you could use, like, a healing powder.
Yeah, like, Heal Bell, I think, is one of them. I'm like, because they saw her to Bulbasaur, so I'm like, one of you might have a grass move that works. Synthesis, no, that's Self. Absorb, no, that's Self. No,
because Sleeping Powder works. Isn't there a healing powder as well?
I don't know about heal, like a powder move that does that.
Let me see.
Like I was going through my head, I'm like looking through the attack decks in my head. I'm like, what can work? What can work in this situation? And I wasn't coming up with anything. I'm like, oh God, he's gonna die.
Oh, there might be an actual. It's a medicine. That's the thing.
Yeah, or I thought maybe they were gonna like bring him to like a spot that was like, I don't know, the earth would heal him, or like there were some berries or something.
No, because when I think of, I don't know, I just thought like there was gonna be like some like legendary Pokemon. I'm surprised. Like I'm kind of happy that like they just were like, look, we're just gonna go with Mew. However, we will obviously say like we will obviously like show statues or like make references to other legendaries.
Yeah. Right.
Like
yeah,
you know, like they
Mewtwo appeared,
yeah, like they.
and I was like, oh, all right.
Well, yeah, that was
that
confused
the other thing.
me. Yeah.
It's funny. It felt like they did take some liberties with Mewtwo's powers, but like,
definitely.
It's Mewtwo. Like, why not?
Well, that's the funny thing. If you're looking at it from a Pokemon game perspective, they did. But when you look at it at like a general Pokemon perspective, they've always in the anime have made Mewtwo seem bigger than
larger than life. Yeah.
Yeah, larger than life. Because like you sit there and it's like,
he kind of is.
He is, but even though I don't know if they've ever done this in the anime, because I haven't really, kept up with the movies, but when you see a Mewtwo in the anime, it's like, oh my god, Mewtwo is so strong and powerful, and you just have like Arceus being like, were you guys talking about me behind my back? Because I will come down there and spank all of you. Like, you have an Arceus being the god of Pokemon, like, nothing against Mewtwo, but it's kind of like, but you're Arceus. Or, hell, it's like having Dialga and Palkia. It's just like Mewtwo's like, I am the champion, I am the best Pokemon ever. And it's just like, we will stop you in time and turn you upside down. You will consistently, for eternity, feel like you have to vomit, but you will never vomit. Do you understand what we can do to you, child?
Yeah.
And then Shaman's just like, hey, guys, are we hanging out? And it's just like, no, we're not. We're good. All right, cool. I'll see you guys later.
Shaman's the Captain Planet of Pokemon. Can absorb pollution and spit out fresh air. So you know what? You can take your time in space and shove it.
Shaman? Yeah? Put our friend Mewtwo to sleep. All right. He's going to meet our friend Darkrai.
Oh, God.
Yay! I love Darkrai. He's so nice to me. He's such a good guy.
Everyone else horrible nightmares. Not practically, though. It's kind of sad. He just wants a hug. He really wants a hug, guys. Come on.
Shaman's just like, Darkrai's so nice to me. Wait, but he gives everybody nightmares. I know, but my life is kind of like a waking nightmare. So when I go to sleep and see him, it's like I'm hanging out with a friend. Oh, my God, Shaman, are you okay? But no, but
this is
but
the Pokemon movie that I use.
Yeah, right. Speaking of that, do you think there might be not a sequel, but there might be another Pokemon movie in the future based on how well this one does?
Possibly. Although that's another question. Haven't we also talked about on K Corner how Detective Pikachu 2 has already been greenlit? Oh,
you know what? Let me actually check that out. Because I think they would ungreenlit it if this one didn't perform as well as they would like. But I hope that, here's the thing, right? Let's say it doesn't perform as well and they ungreenlit it. I hope, I pray to Arceus that it not doing well means that it barely broke even, and not, it did make $1 billion, because I don't want to fucking move towards an industry that thinks, well, it did make $1 billion, so I guess it wasn't successful. Like, that's a fucking anomaly. It made nothing against Avengers Endgame, but in my opinion, Avengers Endgame made as much as it has simply due to the fact that, obviously many reasons, but one of the reasons why is because people like you and I, just with a little bit more income, can go, man, I want to see that again. So let's. So you and I are like, no, you know what, we don't have the cash to go more than once, we're good. But for people that do have that kind of cash, and if we have that kind of cash, maybe we would see it again. So when you have a lot of people seeing it, so when you see a lot of people seeing something twice, or like the standard shouldn't be, I want to go see a movie 8 times. That's not a fucking standard. That should be an anomaly.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, but you're right. There was talk of a sequel. It says, yes, in January 2019, months ahead of the release of Detective Pikachu, Legendary Entertainment announced that a sequel is already in development. Oren Uziel signed on as screenwriter. So here's the thing. I hope that this news morphs, kind of like a ditto, into something different.
Okay.
I know, hear me out. I don't want it to be canceled, but I feel as if their story has already been told.
Right.
I don't know if even though, look, I love me Ryan Reynolds, and I like Justin Smith in the role, and I like the actress that played Lucy. I'm not nothing against them. I just feel as if we've told their story, and how would it be Detective Pikachu if you've written it in this way, where Reynolds is now out of Pikachu's body?
Right.
Would you then have to do some weird, oh no, there's still some gas, oopsie daisy, it happened to him again, just to keep it going? I don't know, man. Like, I just feel as if we need to. Now, here's the thing: the world in that world and in that time frame, we should have another movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we should go 30 years in the future or 30 years in the past. Like, no, keep it around the same time. And I'm not saying you can't have a cameo from any one of the characters.
Right.
It's just, how can you keep the story of Detective Pikachu going when there is no Detective Pikachu anymore?
I mean, me personally, I would like to see them all working together, like the three of them. Like, working together in the detective agency.
Yes.
Like, Lucy still being in the media, like, being kind of like an informant, and then, Tim and Howard is the character's name, right? Howard Goodman? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim
Howard.
and Howard working together with, his Pikachu is still there. I would like to see them together working on cases in Rhyme City. I would find that interesting. I would enjoy that. That's just me personally.
I'm not saying it's not interesting. I'm saying that it's not Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
Well, because, like, it's hard because, like, usually when we see movies, right, or TV shows, they usually don't have the character's name in it. So, like, Dragon Ball Z isn't just the story of Goku, or I guess it's become that, but it doesn't have to be. Star Wars doesn't have to be the story of Skywalker, right?
Right.
But, here's what it would be. It would be like, I don't know, it'd be like if Death Note was like, what if it's a paper of life now? And it's like, that's not Death Note, though. Like, it's hard to, I'm trying to think of an actual, because it's, okay, this is a good one. It would be like if it's like, let's have a Mario game, but Mario isn't in it. And it's like, then it's a Luigi game. Then call it a Luigi game. Like, there's Luigi's Mansion. That's a Luigi game. Mario's not in that, right? But if you were like, let's do a Super Mario game, but Mario isn't in it. And it's like, then that's not a Mario game.
Yeah. I mean, you mean the fusion of Pikachu and Howard Goodman, that's Detective Pikachu. Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. Unless Howard Goodman starts calling himself Detective Pikachu, which would actually be kind of funny.
Right.
No, like if he calls himself that, but like...
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Think of it this way. If they set up the... What?
If you're thinking what I'm thinking, then he should, but go on.
They set up the office so that when a client walks in, all you see is a Pikachu at the desk, and he has the cap, and then Ryan Reynolds just does his voice. He speaks to the client, but he's nowhere to be seen in the room, and it sounds like the Pikachu is talking to the client.
I talked to you about Detective Conan once.
Well, I mean, there you go.
No, I thought it was going to be Ryan Reynolds in a giant Pikachu outfit, like one of those dudes on Times Square.
I mean, that would be fucking hilarious, too.
I thought that's what you were going for, and I was like, yes, immediately, yes.
I would go more for Ryan Reynolds throwing his voice and making it seem like Pikachu was talking to the client. And Tim just walking in like, oh my God, Dad, can you stop it?
Oh
like,
my God.
We got to keep the gig going. Come on, kid.
That's the thing. I'm not saying that like it wouldn't be fun. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like it's such a good story that like, and they solved all of their problems. You know, like everything that they had to solve was solved. So like, I would love to see a movie outside of Rhyme City. Which it's interesting because while they would have to make a new city, which is hard, and also finding a place to film and stuff, they do have all of the Pokemon assets. So in a way, I think a sequel was greenlit because they're like, we fucking spent so much money on these Pokemon, goddammit, we're gonna reuse them.
Right. Which, hey, I get it.
Oh no, like they spent a lot of money on that. So I get it too. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like their story has been told. So like, other than a fun cameo in another movie in another city, which why not? Right. Especially if like Tim is now kind of, even though it would be nice that he works with Harry, maybe his love of Pokemon is rekindled, and he travels the land, and we see him somewhere in another role. Like that would be interesting to me. Or while that's happening in Rhyme City, what's happening elsewhere? You know, the Pokemon games are obviously, you know, notorious for saying, hey, we know that this stuff is going on elsewhere in the world, but we're doing this over here, and it's going on parallel. Right. It's parallel, guys. Like, that could happen elsewhere, and, like, when they're doing that story, they're, you know, they show, like, in the background, like, crazy thing happening in Rhyme City.
Yeah.
Because, like, while that was crazy, it wasn't a nationwide, like, event. It technically was only happening in Rhyme City, which is a large city and seems like it's like a New York, but for all we know, like every city, it's funny, every area in a Pokemon game seems like it's the largest one yet. And then it's like, bro, that's only a small part of the entire world. And you're like, what?
Yeah. That's fair.
Oh my God. No, just I'm thinking back to when I beat, I think it wasn't Crystal my first time. It was with the second gen. It was probably Silver, and so I beat it. And then you just had that dude. I don't know if it was you got a phone call or if it was like a dude in front of my house who was just like, yeah. So can you? I think it might have been Elm calling, right? Which was like, yeah. Can you go to the Johto region or Kanto region? See what's going on in the Kanto region? And I was like, what? And then you just find out like, oh yeah, by the way, the first game is in the second game.
Right.
No, like, I had no idea that was coming as a kid.
Right, yeah.
So it just hits you out of fucking nowhere. Yeah. So, like, what I'm saying is that, like, you know, you're like, oh, yes, this is a brand new world. All you know, new similar Pokemon in some cases, but brand new world. Doing your own thing. It's like, no, it's kind of like the Avengers Initiative. You're part of a bigger thing. So, like, you could have a Detective Pikachu sequel, quote unquote, or you got a sequel, quote unquote, but it just being in the same universe.
Right.
I hope.
So now this also brings up the point of, so we're starting the Smash Initiative now. Like, this is the start of the Smash Brothers cinematic universe.
Right. I mean, well, here's what's interesting. So Rhyme, well, because what it could be the start of, not like that necessarily, but it could be the start of something that, if it goes on for a while, not crazy while, but like for 3 movies, in the third movie, you could just as easily have whoever the trainer is, right, fighting the Elite Four, and Tim is one of the fucking members or something.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Or at least being a part of a gym, and Tim is like the gym leader of like Rhyme City or something.
Right.
You know, again, like, depending on how long this goes, or if they want to go in the future and recast Tim or something, like, I just think that, like, it's something that they did something here that makes me so happy, and maybe for investors and people who are in the industry are, like, a little concerned, because they're like, no, we need to make it exactly like the first one, we can't deviate, but, like, I'm just happy that, you know, you start off doing something that's different than the traditional, you know, what someone would think a Pokemon movie would be, based on all of the anime movies and the entirety of the TV show that's still going on. You did something different.
Yeah, and it was really refreshing and really good.
And that's why I want the second one to not be their story again, because because if you said it was just them with Ryan Reynolds in human form, That is different. Even though, like I said, it would not be Detective Pikachu, arguably, that still would be different in a way. But I'm worried they're going to go with, they're going to do a sequelitis thing. That's going to be like, oh no, some of that gas is still around. Oh, now I'm in Pikachu's body again. Oh no. Just to try to make us go see it again.
Right.
And I would be very angry. Like, I'm not angry, but it would disappoint me that you and I would have to be sitting in that theater. What, you think I'd fucking miss Ryan Reynolds and Pikachu's body again? Oh, I'd be there.
I mean,
I would just be disappointed.
I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd fucking be there.
Well, no, would I be upset at how Hollywood has has kind of a lack of creativity and lost its spark?
Yeah.
Yes. No, would I be sitting there with a fucking Detective Pikachu Coke in hand and my Detective Pikachu fucking popcorn? Yes.
Right.
But you see what I mean. But I do want more. Like I hope this movie. I hope that more of these get made, i.e., in this universe. So I don't want this to get canceled. I just hope that they don't think, oh, good, we need, because yes, Ryan Reynolds sold this for me. Don't get me wrong. Ryan Reynolds fucking sold this. But
like, I came for Ryan Reynolds, but I actually stayed for the movie.
I came for Ryan Reynolds, but really, I came because of the movie. Okay, I realize I want that audio to be saved forever. But seriously though, I just feel like they wrote it in a way not like, oh, they wrote themselves out in case there isn't a sequel. Like, no, this thing got greenlit so early that like they made the movie. Like, it is its own standalone movie. That's the thing. Like it was made so well. It's kind of like Ghostbusters in a way. With the original Ghostbusters, they wrote it as its own standalone movie. So when the second one came, even if the villain was stronger, I felt as if it's like, it was nice what it did. Like, it expanded upon the Ghostbusters lore. But when I saw the second one, and you and I reviewed that for an episode of Friday Night Movies, years ago at this point, but it was just kind of okay. You know? Like, irregardless of what people think about the new Ghostbusters, the 2016 one, still, like, that second one, it just, I don't know, man. Like, it was like, okay, like, we're expanding, yes, but again, the first one was done so well, like with this one, Detective Pikachu, that you don't need to make more of them.
Right. Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah. But yeah, so anything else you want to say about this before we start to wrap this thing up? There's so much to say.
That's about everything.
I like Greninja as ninjas, actual like ninja enforcers, especially also with their Smash involvement. It just made sense that they'd be in the movie.
Right. Yeah, dude. No, they gave me like such an alien vibe when they were like, out of the pods, and then Lucy was gone, and Tim's like, Lucy, where'd you go? And then he even the music was like creepy horror version.
Yeah.
I think even Pikachu said something to that effect. He's like, oh, this is a screaming horror film, that kid. And just like him slowly looking up, and it's just her wrapped up in its tongue, and she's like, run! And then the other three come out. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, by the way, I cannot believe that, because we're never gonna get to talk about this again. Maybe on a K Corner, I don't know, but I cannot believe that fucking Warner Brothers made a YouTube channel, a fake channel called Inspector Pikachu, and pretended to upload the full movie.
Okay then.
No, that's the video I sent you where Pikachu was dancing the entire time.
Oh, right, that one.
That was, and then fucking Ryan Reynolds tweeted it, like, can you guys get on this? And I was like, oh my god, like, even Ryan Reynolds was tweeting this? And then when I saw the video, I was like, you motherfuckers.
Right.
But I didn't realize it was I didn't realize it was official Warner Brothers until the news broke. And apparently, yes, they did that as a joke for a viral marketing campaign that for a movie that didn't even need it.
Right.
Oh my God. So yes, that's one thing, right?
But
and
now
by the way,
we have
apparently,
clips of Pikachu dancing, and the internet is happy because I've
but
seen
even
that all
before
over.
that, here's the funny thing. Even before Pikachu was dancing, apparently, because I had skipped just to the middle of it and then saw Pikachu dancing because I wanted to see like the quote unquote legitimacy, which to some people they'd be like, really, Matt? But here's the interesting thing though. You might laugh at me and be like, really, Matt? Like as if the movie would get leaked like that. That actually has happened before.
Right.
Like within the first week, I believe, Deadpool, the first one, was actually on Facebook.
Right.
It was removed, but someone uploaded the entire movie in like it was bad quality, but the entire movie was up. Hell, when Pokemon, I think it might have been Ultra Sun and Moon, when that was coming out, the entire there was like somehow someone was able to with a modded 3DS find the game code through like the eShop. Like somehow they got it early, and they were just streaming it to, and they were playing it, not even like live streaming. They were just playing it and cutting it up and just putting it out there.
Right.
With the shittiest thumbnails and spoilers, and I remember at the time, I think I told you, I didn't care about it in a sense that, like, I cared about it being, obviously illegally put out there, but I didn't care in the sense that I don't know much about Pokemon. But our very own Satish Ram was sitting there like, so I was getting fucking spoiled left and right because at the time he consistently was searching for Pokemon stuff. So YouTube thinks, oh, we want to recommend you this Pokemon Sun and Moon shit. Except that it was all spoilers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously it's happened before in some ways, in some way one way or another. So I thought in a weird way maybe it happened again.
Right.
And what's weird too is the way the movie started up. They had a completely they filmed that, or they took existing footage just to make that fake beginning. Where because Tim was standing in front of the agency, which either was not used in the film, or if it was used obviously much later in the movie.
Yeah, right.
Like when he was about to walk in. So I'm shocked. They're fucking crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
That they did that. Oh, also our friend was talking about the fact that apparently there was a detective version of Pikachu in the Pokemon Go app.
Yes, there was an event going around where you could catch a Detective Pikachu with the detective pen.
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be a graphic novel based on the movie. Might do that for a future episode of Book of the Month.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, might want to see that. Oh, something that was cute, too, when they did all the illustrations of all of the actors as their characters during the end sequence. During that was really cute.
In a Pokemon game style, drawn and animated.
No, they definitely got some. Yeah. If they didn't get the original crew to draw that from Game Freak, they got a fan to draw that shit. Yeah. They literally look like they were like that one guy who was in the underground part of it, with his Charizard. It looked like you could have just placed him in the game.
Yeah.
Just normally. So that was really nice.
Yeah, that was.
So great. It was a lot of fun. I think that's the thing. This movie, yes, there were some downs, there were some ups, there were some downs, but it was just a lot of fun. And you need that every now and again, If I have no problem, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's better than X, Y, or Z. No, look, for me it's more of a different flavor thing, where it's if I want to watch The Godfather, I'll watch The Godfather. If I want to watch something that's not taking itself so seriously, then I can do that. For me, that's the thing for me. It's not so much, in some cases, yes, of course, it's about quality. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say, The Room is of the same quality as this just because it's a different flavor. No, it is not. Same thing with Troll 2. No, it is not. It is a bad movie. They are bad movies. But I don't think this was on that same level, is what I mean. It's good to have fun. It's a different kind of fun, but it's good to have fun.
Right.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say before we do the send-off?
I'm good.
All right. So, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Friday Night Movies. If you like this as a video, well, first of all, I assume you're watching this through our Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel. You can like and subscribe. You could also be listening to this, by the way, through our Blog Talk Radio account, which is blogtalkradio.com/ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, or you could have searched us up on iTunes by searching up Those Guys and found all of our podcast content there. Either way, I mentioned earlier we do Keikaku Corner at least once or twice a month. We do them. We were doing them live on our Twitch. Had some computer troubles. Thankfully, it seems like Twitch, the computer is back to 100%. Twitch is a go-go yet again, so you can find us on Twitch by searching up TG Productions, and there we do our live Keikaku Corners where we talk about different news articles, either anime-related, manga-related, comic book-related, general pop culture stuff, and we also play video games there as well, which then also get put on our Those Guys Play channel, where we also started off doing games there just there. But then we moved on to Twitch, but we still, of course, have a lot of content there, like our reviews. I do Matt Rants, again, live on Twitch, and then put some of that stuff on YouTube, and a bunch of other fun stuff as well. A lot of different shows like What's in a Cart, What's in a Box. Again, so many different ones, too many to list here and now. Either way, though, definitely check that out there. And also you can go to our TG Productions YouTube channel, and there do a lot of stuff that's a bit more related to tokusatsu, pro wrestling, things like that. So definitely take a look at that as well if that interests you. So, love you all. Take care. Tune in next time for another episode of Friday Night Movies. And hopefully Detective Pikachu sequel or some type of sequel in some way is a go-go, because I just want to watch a movie for an hour and a half of just Pokemon. Just walking around, just waving, Machamps just, directing traffic, or Machokes. No, it was a Machamp.
And
just
I
directing
also
traffic.
Need to hear Ryan Reynolds sing the rest of the Pokemon theme song, the first one.
Oh, God, yes.
I wanna be the best.
But not doing it sad. He was so sad.
Right.
All that and more. All right, guys, so love you all. Take care, and see ya.
Pika.